Your car guy. This is a 1997 BMW E36 M3. We're going to do his spark plugs on it. It's the same for about all of the BMW E36s, and even very similar to an E46. But this will cover your 1992 to 1999, depending on the which body style you have of BMW. So your 318, 325, all of those. And yes, this car's got some issues. It's multicolor. It's in the process of getting a restoration. First things first, we'll get the hood open, and I'll show you what we're doing. With our hood open, first thing we're going to do, if your car still has the little plastic covers that go over these nuts, you're going to pry up to just pop those out. And then there's some 10mm nuts under there. We'll take those off and we'll be able to remove this cover. You're also going to have to take your oil cap off to get that cover to come up. With the cover up out of the way, I will put the oil cap back on just so that it nothing gets dropped in there and no damage occurs. Next step, we're going to remove the coil packs. You can see we've got one that's been replaced here. It doesn't look exactly the same, but I'm sure it's an adequate replacement. So you have 2 bolts on each coil pack, 10mm each. And then to disconnect the wiring, this piece here, you'll pry right under that, and this piece will come up just like that, and it'll allow you to unplug the electrical. Sometimes you can do just like I did, pry it up with your fingers, and sometimes you may need to take a little screwdriver and gently pry right there underneath to unlock the electrical connectors. Go ahead and disconnect all your connectors and take out all 6 of your coil packs. Coils are out. I do notice this appears right here like at some point it has had a loose spark plug. It's kind of a burning and oil mixture there, that dirtiness. No big deal, as long as we get our spark plug back in. So now I have a deep spark plug socket, but this is just a 5/8 spark plug socket. If you don't have a deep one, use an extension, take your plugs out. Your one back here is the most difficult one to get to, but really you shouldn't have any real issues getting into there with the right extension and a spark plug socket. I'm going back with an NGK Iridium spark plug. I like the NGKs and they've done well for me with the Iridiums. So what I'll usually do is I'll put my spark plug in the socket, and then I'm going to put a little bit of anti-seize on the threads, not a lot, just enough to keep it from getting bound in there, so that next time I take it out, it's going to come out nice and easy. With an aluminum head or even a steel head, you can get bimetal corrosion that'll cause them to seize. You can strip threads out in the head, and then you're talking a major repair. So this is just something simple and easy, and put all 6 of your spark plugs in and tighten them up. With your spark plugs back in place, you can just drop your coil packs back in. It's pretty simple. There's not much to it. When you plug in your coil pack, make sure to get the connector in all the way, which means making sure it gets underneath that clip and it seats fully and locks. I have seen times where on some of the later BMWs, they've not gotten locked as easily. These ones are pretty positive locks, so you're not gonna have an issue. You will have a ground strap at the very rear and the very front that go through the mounting bolts. Just make sure to get those on. So we'll get all those in and buttoned up. Everything's buttoned up. Very quickly, I want to show you that's where the ground strap mounts and attaches, front and rear with them mounted up. Very simple. Now we're just going to put the cover back on. You can see from how we took it off how to put that back on. We'll take the cap off and slide it in. But this is your car guide. Please subscribe to the channel, help us grow, and like and share our videos.